Hello students. Today we will talk about the structure of the heart, and this is an organ which is present in the circulatory system. Circulatory system, it is a system which is needed for the carrying of the essential substances. And you know we are having the closed circulatory system. What the closed circulatory system is, where the blood it is flowed through the vessels, and the three types of vessels, they are arteries, veins and capillaries. So right now we are concerned for the structure of the heart. अगर आप structure देखिए तो we are having the four chambered heart, right? And we are having the four chambered heart. This is the provision for the efficient supply of energy, because we are the organisms who used to regulate our body temperature, and it is what it is a highly energetic process. It requires much energy, and that is why this provision is there. We are having the four chambered heart. Now upper two chambers, they are called as atria, and the lower two chambers, they are called as ventricles. आप यहाँ देख सकते हैं right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle and left ventricle. Four chambers. ये atrium, it is the singular of atria. So you should not get confused here. In plural, it is said to be atria. So upper two chambers, they are left and right atrium, and the lower two chambers, they are left and right ventricle. Now एक partition होता है between the two ventricles. A muscular partition it is, right? And what it is called as, it is called as interventricular septum. This is a partition which is present between the two ventricles, muscular wall, and septum, it is used for the partition. So this is called as interventricular septum. एक partition होता है between the two atria, and that is called as interatrial septum. ये जो word inter है, that is used for in between. So between the two atrium, the interatrial septum is present. Between the two ventricles, interventricular septum is present. Now एक partition होता है जो atrium और ventricle के बीच में होता है. So one, it is present between the right atrium and right ventricle. One partition, it is present between the left atrium and left ventricle, and this partition, it is known as atrioventricular septum. Septum, it is used for the partition, and it is, you can assume, for the muscular wall, right? So here atrium और ventricular के बीच में atrioventricular septum. Now four major blood vessels देख लें, and these are, let me change the color here if I can. See, vena cava. This is what the major vein, and it is divided into superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Vein, it collects the deoxygenated blood from the body, right? So this is what the major vein, and inferior vena cava, it collects the blood from the lower part of the body, and superior vena cava, it collects the blood from the upper part of the body. Next, you can say for the aorta. This is what the major artery. Artery, it is having the function for the distribution of oxygenated blood in the body, and this is what the major artery, aorta. It is responsible for the distribution of the blood to the body. एक artery that is called as pulmonary artery, this one, and it carries blood from the right ventricle to the lungs for oxygenation. So pulmonary artery, it carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs for oxygenation. और एक वेन होती है जिसे हम कहते हैं pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein, it carries the oxygenated blood from the lungs to the left atrium. So here, as we are doing the structure of the heart, we have to know for the four types of major blood vessels. So हमने देखे 4 chambers, इनके बीच में septum and 4 major blood vessels, right? Now come to the valves. You know, heart में valves भी present हैं. Valves का function क्या है? Prevention of blood backward blood flow. It prevents the backward blood flow actually. So, you know, 4 types of valves they are present. In between the, you can say for the valves, it prevents the backflow of blood. So here between the right atrium and right ventricle, a valve is present. You can see, children, here the tricuspid valve. It is having the 3 flaps. That is why called as tricuspid. A valve is present between the left atrium and left ventricle called as mitral valve. And this valve, it is also called as bicuspid valve. So ये location, this is present between the right atrium and right ventricle. It is present between the left atrium and left ventricle. And 2 valves और होते हैं जिन्हें collectively semilunar valves बोला जाता है. One at the opening of the right ventricle and pulmonary artery, and one at the opening of the left ventricle and aorta, right? So आप ये देख सकते हो at the opening of the right ventricle and pulmonary artery, ये जो valve present है इसको हम pulmonary valve भी बोलते हैं. And the valve which is present at the opening of the left ventricle and aorta, इसको हम aortic valve भी बोलते हैं. तो pulmonary valve and aortic valve, they collectively known as semilunar valves as per their shapes. Heart, it is of size of a clenched fist, present in a cavity which is called as thoracic cavity, has the function for the pumping out of the blood, and bounded by a membrane that is called as pericardium. A double membranous structure it is. Pericardium is a double membranous structure, and in between the pericardial fluid is present. In between the 2 membranes, the pericardial fluid it is present. What it is having the function? Shock absorber. It absorbs the shock, right? You can say for the protection. So this is what the structure of the heart. और depth में जाते हुए, heart, it is derived from the mesoderm. So mesoderm is what? It is a embryonic layer. So ये रीजन है कि हम हार्ट के लिए बोलते हैं इट इज अ mesodermally derived organ because it is derived from an embryonic layer that is called as mesoderm. Now nodal musculature होता है which is responsible for the generation of the action potential, and here you can see upper right corner of the right atrium is having a muscular patch that is called as sinoatrial node. It is also called as SA node. Sinoatrial node. Right atrium के ही left में at the lower side another muscular patch is present that is called as AV node. Atrioventricular node. What these are? The muscular patch. Now a bundle of nodal fibers arise from the AV node, and the bundle it is called as AV bundle, right? So ये bundle जिसे AV bundle कहा जाता है which arises from the AV node present at the left corner of the right atrium. ये bundle atrioventricular septum से होता हुआ passes through the atrioventricular septum. It emerges at the interventricular septum. Atrioventricular septum से होता हुआ it emerges at the upper part of the interatrial septum, और यहाँ से ये immediately divided into left and right. Left bundle and right bundle. Now this left and right bundle again branched into minute fibrils, and these fibrils they are called as Purkinje fibers. So here this right bundle and left bundle it is further branched into Purkinje fibers, and this arrangement in the sense this right bundle left bundle with the minute fibrils that is called as bundle of His, right? And this is what the nodal musculature which is responsible for the generation of the action potential. Because we know that heart it is auto excitable. However, the number of action potentials that could be generated in a minute vary at different parts of the nodal system. Here ये जो SA node है जिसे हम sinoatrial node कहते हैं, here the maximum number of action potential they are generated, and the number is 70 to 75 per minute. And ये फिर further किससे पास होते हैं? Like they are transmitted from the AV node and the fibers which are associated with it. So this arrangement it is actually for the transmission of the action potential, right? And here the SA node, sinoatrial node, it is responsible for initiating and maintaining the rhythmic contractile activity of the heart. And this is the reason this SA node it is called as pacemaker. And our heart normally beats 70 to 75 minutes in a minute. Average you can say 72 beats per minute. So this is what the structure of heart we will meet in our next video. Till then, have a very good bye.